So, Matthew Stafford. Never thought I would be saying these words, but Matthew Stafford came up clutch in the postseason and just sent his team to the NFC Championship game. Wow, that is very weird to say when it comes to Matthew Stafford, because based on how his career's gone, he shouldn't be in this situation, honestly. But I gotta give credit to Matthew Stafford. He came up clutch. Rams almost choked that game away, but Stafford stepped onto the field, hit Cooper Kupp twice, one down the field, and put this game on ice by setting up the game-winning field goal that sent the team to the NFC title game. Gotta give him credit. He came up clutch, which is something we could say he's been doing for quite some time. Unfortunately, it has never been on this scale. Right now, Matthew Stafford is slowly, not even slowly at this point because he's in the playoffs, he is rapidly changing his legacy right now. If he can get this team to a Super Bowl and they win a title, his legacy will forever be changed in the positive side. Because up until this point, Matthew Stafford was known as a stat stuffer. He was a stat machine. Great quarterback, talented quarterback, puts up fantastic stats, but never does it in any meaningful football. And it wasn't all of his fault. The dude played his entire career in Detroit. Detroit is an embarrassment of a football team. They are an embarrassment of a franchise. They have been a joke for the last 60 plus years. They've been a joke for a long time, man. So it's hard for me to sit back and say, Matthew Stafford, it was all his fault they couldn't win. He was there for 12 years because he was drafted in 2009. He was there for 12 years. 0 playoff wins. 0. And it wasn't all his fault. Detroit wasted the talents of Barry Sanders. They wasted the talent of Megatron. And they almost wasted the talent of Matthew Stafford. Until this year, where Detroit finally decided, let's throw him a bone. Let's release him from this embarrassment. Let him go somewhere else and prove if he could be the guy. Let's trade him to LA. Won't take Jared Goff. Let's trade Matthew Stafford to LA. Let's not waste this man's talent anymore. So they did. And now he's in LA with a prime opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Now his talents are actually thriving in the right moment. Because, Matthew Stafford, he's been clutch. Go look at what he's done with Detroit. He's been clutch. However, it hasn't been in a lot of meaningful football. It's been plenty of times in the regular season where he's been clutch, but it hasn't been consistent enough to the point where he's getting them to the playoffs consistently. And it's not his fault. It's not like he wasn't coming up clutch in those moments. It was just somebody failing to catch the football in a clutch situation, or his defense just giving up a game-winning touchdown like they always like to do. So it wasn't really his fault, but the man showed he could be clutch when he was in Detroit. Now he's showing it in LA. However, he's had those moments throughout his career where he's cost his team games. And that's the thing with Matthew Stafford. That's the duality there. He can win you games. He can come up clutch. But he can also lose you games and cost you at the worst moment with an errant interception. And that's what's very tough about Matthew Stafford. I'm saying all of this right now about him changing his legacy and how he's come up clutch in the playoffs finally. But we have to understand, next week, he's going up against the Niners. This could all go very bad. I mean, he's already helped his legacy by winning in the postseason, getting to an NFC title game, but it can all go bad because the Niners, they've had the Rams number for quite some time. They have. In fact, the only reason, or better yet, the main reason the Niners are sitting in this position in the NFC title game is because of what they did to the Rams. They had to beat the Rams to make the playoffs. They had to. Matthew Stafford could have closed it out, hit Odell, but instead he got picked off. He underthrew it and got picked off. And because of that interception, the Niners got into the playoffs. And here they are a couple weeks later, both of them meeting up again for the third time in the NFC Championship game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So that Niners defense could torment Matthew Stafford next week and completely embarrass him, and they end up going home. That could very well happen. But in terms of context right now, I have to give him his due. Hopefully he balls out next week, because if he doesn't, this video ain't going to really mean much down the stretch, especially if he embarrasses himself next week. But right now, from what he's shown, he is rapidly overwriting his legacy. And it is rising right now. If this man can bring a title to LA, this would do wonders for his legacy because he has the numbers. Go look at the numbers he's put up during his time in Detroit. He has the numbers. He just hasn't had the postseason success. Hell, he's barely been in the postseason. So, that's what led people to believe, okay, well, he's talented. He's a great quarterback, but all he does is fill up the stat sheet. He puts up a bunch of numbers, a lot of great numbers, but it's never in meaningful football. So what does it matter? And that's been the story of Matthew Stafford during his time in Detroit. I'm telling you, man, I can honestly say this right now. Everybody already knows Detroit's a bad team. They're a bad organization. We get it. They're cursed at this point. Whatever you want to say, they're just terrible. But man, they've wasted a lot of talent. And if Matthew Stafford leads this LA Rams team to the Super Bowl and they win a chip, Detroit will forever be shamed. Because you had that guy for 12 years. And in some of those years, you had him with Megatron. And you guys couldn't win a single playoff game. That's a putrid organization, if I do say so myself. So yeah. But it's not even just about that in terms of Detroit. It's not even just a Detroit situation. Matthew Stafford here, he's playing well and he's great. But this was the expectations that was put onto him. Because if you look at the LA Rams, they've been a Super Bowl contending team for the last 3 years in terms of rosters. This team went to the Super Bowl in 2018. They went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff in 2018. This is a franchise decided to go for broke. They are sacrificing their future. They've given up so many future picks to pick up guys and form this roster. They've given up future pieces to form this roster. That's what they did in 2018, and it got them to a Super Bowl. The difference maker was the quarterback, and Jared Goff played atrocious in that Super Bowl. And they lost, which harmed them heavily. 2019 was a setback. They missed the playoffs. 2020, they make the playoffs, but guess what? They just don't have the quarterback to get them to where they want to get to. Jared Goff was the difference maker in that divisional round matchup last year against the Green Bay Packers. He was a clear difference maker. I was one to believe that if they had a better quarterback in that situation, they could have beaten the Packers. And it seems like the Rams believed that was the case as well, because the moment they had a chance to get rid of Goff, they did. They knew with this roster, time is ticking. This is a Super Bowl contending roster. You gotta get it done. So what did they do? They took another risk and decided to continue to garner their future. Their future's already screwed. They've given up all those picks. They have accepted that because they're trying to get a Super Bowl now. You've got all these pieces. Hell, they added more pieces. Von Miller's on the team now. But the one piece that they added that holds the key to them winning a championship is Matthew Stafford. They went out and traded Goff to get Stafford because they believe this is the guy that can lead us back to the Super Bowl, and this time we're going to win that ring. So the pressure's on Stafford. His legacy is definitely being impacted and rising because of how clutch he's been, but the expectations are so high. Look at the talent on this team. Look at the talent offensively. Look at the talent defensively. You can't waste this talent. This is the best group Matthew Stafford has played with in his entire career. He's never had this much talent before. He can't afford to waste this talent. He's got to get it done. So he's got to get them to the Super Bowl. Imagine them losing next week to the Niners. And imagine it being because Stafford didn't play up to expectations. It's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt. So yeah, Matthew Stafford is changing his legacy. He has been changing his legacy throughout this postseason. But it's not done yet. He still has to meet the expectations, which is at least a Super Bowl appearance, and the expectation is hopefully a Super Bowl ring, because that's why you got this guy. That's why you traded Goff, to get this guy to take you to Super Bowl. You didn't bring Stafford here to win an extra playoff game. You brought him here to win a ring, and he's got to deliver. And if the divisional round was an example and a taste of him delivering and what he can bring moving forward, then they might be able to win this. If what we saw Matthew Stafford do in the reigning seconds of that game, him coming up clutch and hitting Cooper Kupp, if that's what you're going to get from Stafford in this postseason, they might be able to pull this off and get the ring this year. It's not going to be easy. The Niners defense is ferocious. But Matthew Stafford, the expectations are high for you. You're expected to deliver, and wow, you're expected to deliver, and you're expected to get this team to the Super Bowl and hopefully win a ring. Your legacy is being impacted. Either way, it's impacted in the right way because you've gotten to the NFC Championship game. But with the expectations so high and the talent on this team so huge, you may still deal with some major backlash if you perform poorly next week. Your legacy is being impacted right now. You are changing your legacy, but you could very well hurt it if you screw up this opportunity. That's all I got to say. That's pretty much all I got, guys. I'm out of here. Peace.